Hi and welcome to the Career Stories podcast. My name's Joe and I'm joined by my colleague Carrie.
Can't get rid of me.
We are Careers Advisor for Skills Development Scotland and this is episode number 5 where we interview people in their jobs to find out a little bit about what they do, what their journey's like and also kind of future ambitions that they've got for themselves.
Our goal in this podcast is to inspire you to think about all the different careers and different ways of getting into them and all the little behind the scenes things that you maybe wouldn't have thought about these types of careers, and you might think about jobs that you maybe wouldn't have considered before.
Yeah, and we've had loads of good guests. No pressure. But there's going to be no different today. We are joined by the very wonderful Niamh McQuade. So Niamh works for Scotland Heritage Education sector, or within that sector. But what I thought would be really good today, because your role's quite unique in some aspect, because you work in a very awesome place. So it'd be good to find out from your perspective of what it is you actually do and where you work.
So, I work at Stirling Castle as a cultural venue operations apprentice, which is a very fancy way of just saying I basically work in all areas of the castle. I get to work with the guiding team. I get to work with retail and admissions. I'm even going to do some stuff with the events team as well.
Amazing. And the main word you said there was apprentice.
Yes.
Now, we had said before, we both started as apprentices and obviously have moved on to pastures new and became hosts. Was definitely not in the job title of an apprentice.
I know,
17 years ago for me.
No, I'm trying to think how many years ago it was for me. 9 years ago for me. Yeah. So
you're at this obviously early stage of that journey, but talk a little bit about how did that happen? Because I think you have definitely got one of the more unique roles that we've had here so far. So how did that come about? Was it always something you were interested in doing?
So I was definitely always interested in working in the heritage sector, museums, basically anything I could get my hands on really. My family have always gone and visited those sites. That's what we did. We always went around Scotland. We had Historic Scotland Pass, all this sort of stuff. So I was always aware of it and I wanted to be part of it in some way. I'm from Oban on the west coast of Scotland. There's a lot of history over there and there's Denali Castle and I worked in the archives there through the Pathways programme in high school. So I was seeing the real behind the scenes for the first time and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I really, really enjoyed it and I did a project for the Clan Gallerin that was all about the castles of the MacDougall. And yeah, basically that's where it really sort of sparked and I saw the reality of what it would be to work in the heritage sector and I was just like, get me on that, like that's fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. Something that people might not know actually is that I used to work in the library. So I was a library assistant and that was in that similar thing. I loved reading. So I was like, I want to work with books. So that's that similar thing. You've loved this history and then the more you find out about it, the more you've wanted to work there. When you were thinking about castles of where you would maybe want to work, was Stirling the goal?
Stirling was the goal. Yes. So I originally applied to Stirling Castle as a guide and I wasn't successful, which I got fantastic feedback for my interview. I went out and asked for the feedback and they were amazing about giving me feedback and I applied the feedback and got the apprenticeship, which was honestly, it's a fantastic fit for me. I like trying new things. I like the sort of freedom we get to work on our coursework, we get to go and do all sorts of like shadowing and all this, and then this, like, you know, I get to kind of make it how I want to go forward and it works really well for me, so it turned out absolutely for the best.
And you talk about obviously it's your family was obviously writing a history, which means maybe it's happened to you where you've became this love of history and things. Did that stem right back to like, you know, watching TV and then in school did you love history as a subject or was it a bit different?
I liked history as a subject. I enjoyed high school. I struggled a little bit with it. I enjoyed the learning aspect, but exams were not. My brain is not geared towards exams. I did like history though, and despite not performing well in exams, I did well in class, well enough in class. And one of my teachers, Mrs. Binney, she was fantastic and I absolutely loved her classes, and that was one of the starting points as well, where I was like enjoying the calm classroom and it was just, you can read and you can learn as much as you want to about something you're really interested in.
Yeah.
I think that's it, and I think a lot of people feel like in order to do well, that they've got to perform well under these exam conditions. And actually, so many people don't. It's not a normal. And when you think about how you're doing your apprenticeship and you're doing all this learning and you're demonstrating all of that learning, but you're not having to sit in an exam hall and do it in 2 hours with no talking. I think it's when it comes to the coursework, how do you find that?
I love doing the coursework. I was always, we get coursework days, which is a day out of the week where we're just in the library, we're just working away. And I would be running around taking photos of signs. Like, you have to put them all into one file, and it's just fantastic. It was really fun. I was asking people loads of questions. And I have this little notebook that I was carrying around with me at all times, because I just loved it. I liked learning. It was basically, you're doing your job that you're supposed to be doing. You're not doing anything less than what's the standard job. But you're also applying what you're doing into the coursework. It's showing like a huge amount of understanding for what skills you're actually having to sort of take on and you're learning. So it's been really interesting sort of being like, well, this is the job I'm doing, and then this is actually what's going to put forward into my future with career in heritage.
And did you, obviously you've come into this apprenticeship slightly later after leaving school, see when you were getting to the point of thinking about leaving school and stuff, did you have a different vision or a different pathway at first that you thought you wanted to go down?
So my pathway out of school has been quite interesting. I've always been very aware of taking steps, and whether or not steps forward, I should say. I left high school. I did not do as well in exams as we had hoped. My teachers were also confused by this as well, because I'm not geared towards exams. I get nosebleeds when I'm stressed. It's not great. So I went and I found a college course in Oban. They didn't have any exams, and I was like, if I can do this, let's see what I can get on. Absolutely loved it. It was like absolutely fantastic for me. And then I realised I wanted to go do uni as well, so I did uni, and then I was like, I'm not finished with learning. I'm absolutely not finished with learning, but I need some work experience in the sector that I want to be in. And I knew I wanted to be in historic environment Scotland, and they're not getting rid of me.
They're stuck with you now. What was the college course you did, and what was the uni course that you did?
So my college course was a HNC in social sciences, which I completed in March of 2020. So a fun time to be trying to do learning. And then I started my degree in English at the University of Stirling in September 2020. Again, fun time.
Good timing.
Fun time. But yeah, I loved it. I applied for both Scottish history and English at the university. It was just sort of a flip of the coin what I would go for, because they're very good about letting you choose your modules and all that sort of stuff. So all throughout my university degree, I did history. My dissertation was in a comparison between male and female Jacobite poetry. So history, I've always made it how I want it done, sort of way. Because I love it. I like the research.
But that's so good though, right? Because I feel like we talk about this, and you mentioned about school and subjects and things, and that actually history wasn't necessarily your main focus when you were in school, but clearly still a passion for you.
Yeah.
So you've used it in a way when you've moved into education away from school to still develop knowledge in it, or still develop an interest in it, and taking the lead on your learning. And I think that's, like, people forget when you go to uni there is more autonomy and on your own learning style, and how that's going. It's not like school where you've got a uniform on and it's like sit down and do the work. There is a lot of more flexibility. So did you feel that's why maybe outside of school was better for you, because you had that autonomy?
Absolutely. I don't know what it was. I just didn't enjoy being in school, but I loved learning. I wasn't a disruptive student or anything like that. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me, but I liked learning and being able to have that autonomy, like you say. I was able to choose the subjects that really interest me, that I can really get my teeth into and really sort of progress on with.
I think as well, when you think about it, it's about finding the learning style that suits you. For some people, they do thrive in school, and that's amazing. Some people don't. Some people it's college, and sometimes it's uni, and sometimes it's an apprenticeship. And actually there's no wrong path. It's always about finding what is the right thing for you and what's right for someone sitting next to you. And that's like, it's the same when when we're speaking to people about choosing their subjects and choosing what they do after school. Well, it's not about picking what your best friend does as much as you want to be in their class and things like that. That might not be the right thing for you. So actually finding that thing for you. So you've done all of them. You've done school, you've done college, you've done uni, you're doing an apprenticeship.
I've had quite an interesting sort of,
I think that's a good way to do it. Like, I think it's great. And then, so with your apprenticeship, do you find that the things that you've done before, do you feel that they've prepared you more for what you're doing just now?
Yes, absolutely. I think if I had gone, me personally, if I had gone straight from high school into doing my apprenticeship, I don't think I would be as sort of able to manage my own time as well as I can now. Definitely you have to be disciplined with it. Yes. There's nobody that's going to be running about checking up on you until it's like, the month it is due, and that's too short time. But yeah, so definitely having the sort of time management skills and taking a lot of like sort of pride in what I'm doing as well, because I love my job and it's a really fantastic thing to be able to say. That's not anything that I've had before. It's not something that I was assuming would happen from this job, and it's what you're saying as well. It's interesting. Choosing what your friends do in school, I absolutely did that.
I mean, I was one of them too. We all
totally did that. I did not need to do biology for 3 years. But what's happened now is I've done something that I like, and now I'm in a workplace that everybody's done something that they like, and it's all to do with history, and it's all to do with Scottish heritage, and there's a lot of pride there, and like it's really fantastic and it's enthusiastic. And so now I've found the people that I really enjoy being around, and it's fantastic.
Yes, and I think that's so important, because sometimes people think about the people that they're friends with in school, and you're kind of thrust together of who's in your registration class, who did you go to primary school with, and you're kind of not funneled, but kind of funneled into friendship groups. And then suddenly you're in a career that you've chosen, that's something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. And generally people have chosen to be in that because they enjoy it and they're passionate about it, and you've got all these common interests as well. And suddenly you've got your friends for life. And that's something that's a really lovely bonus of being in a career that you love as well.
I know, it's such a testament to do what you enjoy doing, because then you're going to find people who enjoy doing the same thing, and it's so nice.
Careers advice.
It does. Just in case you want to transition. No, it's amazing. Obviously, like, you've been through 3 different mediums of learning. So like college, total different environment to university. Then university, obviously totally different to then apprenticeship, which is obviously in the job, you're expected to do the job very quickly. As well as obviously education on the side. So like, what has been, I guess, your most enjoyable? Is this probably the most enjoyable learning style for you now because you're in something you love? Yeah,
absolutely. Like, it's gone by so quickly. I've almost done my first year. I've finished my coursework, and I've loved all of it. I've really put a lot of time into making it how I want it. And I've done all of these like fantastic opportunities. Like, I really enjoyed doing like working events and stuff. That's been quite fun. You meet some interesting people. And like just walking about on site, and you're like, this is fantastic. And I know I'm not the kind of person who's going to be in the one job for 40 years. I know that about myself, that's fine. But it's so exciting knowing that I want to be in an organisation that understands the importance of what I also believe in. And it's just fantastic. And I love my job. It's so ridiculous. I just love it.
That's really love to hear.
Yeah,
but if Stirling University are listening, Niamh does want to be there for 40 years. She actually really wants to be there for a long time.
I will be a guide at Stirling Castle at the end of my days.
You'd mentioned obviously that this apprenticeship takes you into different aspects of the castle and what you're doing. So talk through maybe like what you're doing now, what things have you enjoyed so far, what kind of roles are there, I guess? So
I'm in the admissions team at the moment. So that basically means we're managing people who are coming onto the site. We're ticketing, managing car park, doing all sorts. It's a lot. It's really hands-on job. This is probably the one I've most struggled with. I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. But I've struggled with it. But it's just having that little bit of pushback, a little bit of challenge has been really fantastic. Especially in the car park. I don't know if you've ever been to Stirling Castle.
Yes.
The car park is not fun.
No.
It's not a fun time.
I think I
but-
cried in that car park.
Me too.
This is going to become a therapy session here. I can see
To
it.
be fair, I cry quite often when trying to park.
Yeah, that's-
so
Yeah.
that's
so
more
fair.
about my
Yeah, I would
ability
say-
to park.
Yeah, I would say people in car is maybe not the best version of humanity at times.
No.
It's such a challenge, but the team there are like, it's just a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
People move around, they support each other.
Oh, that's
Like, I've struggled on my first one. I'm going to go back and do it.
Yeah.
But it's just seeing how everybody communicates. We have radios, checking in on each other. It's just lovely. It's really nice. And then we do welcoming as well. We scan people's tickets, and then we also sell tickets on site as well. And it's basically just making sure everybody is safe and enjoys their trip to Stirling Castle, you know. There should be nobody on walls, basically.
Yes.
that's another big pushback. But
Common.
yeah.
What
yeah,
I found
it
is
a
when
bit.
I've been to Stirling Castle before was that I was so impressed by the fact that you could ask anybody a question and they know the answer. Like
Yeah.
it's so clear that the people who work there are so enthusiastic and know so many facts, and they know the facts that, like, you'll ask a question and it's not on any like what are they called?
Like notice boards?
Yeah, it's not on the notice board, and they're like, but also this little known fact is this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I love it.
It's just
I just
so good.
it's so interesting,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, and I think as well, like, as I'll go with like my kids and stuff, and it's like, and they love little extra facts,
Yeah.
and it's like, they feel very special getting told those extra facts.
It is nice. Like when I worked with the guiding team for the first 5 months because we all worked together in the guiding. So me and the other 2 apprentices, I should say, work in the guiding team first to get a good orientation of the castle, and then I stayed on there first for my first rotation. And I loved all that as well. It's really fantastic being able to shadow people and hear what they find interesting, and then you sort of piece everything together in your own head, and it's just really fun.
Would that be quite nervy though? Like, so when you get to the point where, did you guide yourself, like with others? Did you take a group of people
So
at all
I
yet?
haven't done a guided tour yet, but I have done a tour for visually impaired guest who was a friend, so it was very much a soft lunch for
Quite
for a
good,
guided
yeah.
tour. But it is nerve wracking. I'm excited to do it though. It'll be really fun. But there's so much information. The guides at Stirling Castle are unbelievable. Like really, really fantastic. They have all sorts of really niche interests that they're like excited to share. They're like, please let me share this with you. And it's the same with the retailer team as well. Like they are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And they're so lovely, and they're really fantastic about they are great at their history as well.
Yeah.
They're like, as you say, everybody's really enthusiastic to have their history, and you know.
Well, it's not really the sort of place that you just apply for because it's like, oh, I'll just apply there because, like, you apply because you really want to work there, don't you?
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And what about, like, see, practically, so like when people move into roles in certain jobs, particularly somewhere like Stirling Stirling Castle, because we're at careers advisors, we know all the unis, and it's like ingrained in our heads that the only time I ever hear the word Stirling is followed by university. So it's my bad, but at Stirling Castle, like practically for you, I think it's really important to understand for people around, like, how was that for you working there? Did you have you moved there, like, because you obviously were at Oban as well, so you clearly don't mind that aspect of getting about, but what was that been like for you?
So I moved to Stirling for university, and I really enjoy Stirling as a whole. I mean, as you can probably guess, I moved there during lockdown or COVID times, you know, and that was a huge part of making a decision where I was going to university. Was I need to be outdoors, basically, and I need there to be trees and water and something like that. And Stirling University was like that for me. And I really liked Stirling, and I was keen to stay, and I knew that I wanted to work at the castle in some aspect, and it was just sort of, there was a great sort of fated sort of thing, you know, if you believe that's what, where I was finishing up university, and then these listings came up, and I was like, the apprenticeships only run every 2 years, and I was like, this is fantastic timing. Like, I mean.
And what was it, just out of curiosity, with the criteria? Because usually there's 2 different types of apprenticeships. What was the criteria for you in terms of what you needed to get into the apprenticeship? Was there a particular qualification required, or?
I don't think there was any qualification. I think it might have been like Nat 5 maths or Nat 5's English or something like that, you know. But there was nothing in particular that they were like, you need to have this.
Yeah.
Or you didn't have to have a huge background in history. One of the other apprentices at Stirling Castle, she's come straight from high school. She likes working at the castle, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't, like, history wasn't on her front of her mind at all, but it's worked well.
I think that's really interesting as well. Like, even when you were just saying about, like, the big part of how you chose your university, because that is something that we speak to people about a lot, is that they'll look, you know, it's one thing to look at the course and to look at, you know, this is exactly what I want to do and this is how it's delivered. And these are all really important aspects. But one of the reasons why I am so, like, open day is that you've also got to kind of go by the vibe. I know that sounds really like airy-fairy, but like you, like, if you're going to be somewhere for 4 years, it has to kind of go with you. And so some people, they'll choose Stirling because it's outdoorsy. There's the open. It's nice. It looks lovely, and it's got that almost campus feel rather than city. But then there's other people who that's their worst nightmare. They want to be right in the thick of things. So they might be looking at more Edinburgh, Aberdeen, where at like Glasgow, and it's like, I think that's such an important thing to think. If it's a degree that you can do at multiple places, what's important to you about the place that you study, and what do they do extra, like, you know, to make it somewhere that you can enjoy being for 4 years and actually want to stay there afterwards. Yeah,
I know. It's just like, that's so important. I think if I had gone anywhere else, if I'd come into the city, that would have been too big of a leap for me. Like coming from Oban, I quite like small town, like it's nice. It would have been too big of a leap, and I'm almost 100% sure that would have dropped out. Honestly, it would have really been a bit of
You're setting yourself up for failure if you put yourself into situations that are completely uncomfortable. There's got to be aspects that are, like, straight away, uni is a big jump. So you've got to make it as comfortable as possible with what you have control over.
And
so
is it quite popular, I guess, being from Oban, relocation's quite common, I guess?
Yeah,
like,
there's honestly, I don't think you can go to, like, a restaurant in Stirling without seeing somebody that I went to high school with. Like, it's really,
Stirling's popular.
Yeah, Stirling is it's like the closest city. You know, it's very popular and it's really common. And you know, I will go back someday, and I'll go back with all of the skills that I've got, and I'll carve out something else for myself that I really enjoy.
Build your own castle in Oban.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm collecting some stones. I'm on the way.
We need to start up a game.
Need new
Our
castles.
castle building game has stopped too long ago for me, and somebody needs to address it. Right, that's what I'm saying.
Where are all the castles?
Where are they going?
And why have none of them got roofs?
No, exactly.
That's so true.
Exactly. Yeah, Johnston Castle is just one pillar that's
Slains
left.
Castle, they took the roof off. Yeah,
what's going on?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Sorry, I know. Listen, we're not going.
I'm on it. Don't
we're
worry,
not going to fix that one today. Do you know what I mean? But I just like
in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done your first year apprentice. How long's left for you then to complete?
I've got another year.
Amazing. And hopefully, obviously, expectation to stay there afterwards then.
Yes, hopefully.
What would be does everybody jump? Is there just guides? Is there just, like, are you only jumping from job to job because it's your apprenticeship?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but honestly, it makes the other jobs easier. Yeah. Knowing what I know from working with the guides, I know that they appreciate a radio, if you're, like, a radio up if you're moving the vans or anything like that. But yeah, it makes every job just that little bit easier, and I can support my colleagues so much easier with it. I don't know if I'm going to stay at Stirling Castle forever and ever, but if they'll have me, I'll be there for a while. But yeah, no, I'm moving on to my second year, so that means usually they would pick one area to work in for the second year of their apprenticeship, but true to form, I'm doing my own way, and I'm going to stay in rotation, just so at the end of it, I'm coming out with a really well-rounded sort of 8 months or something in 3 different places, and I think that's just going to put me in good stead.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. And then also, what's so lovely about working for somewhere like historic environments, I can't get my words out, but if working for someone like that is that's all across Scotland. So there's, do you think, is there opportunities for moving between sites?
There is. So I have been, regardless of what happens after my apprenticeship, there is jobs up in Orkney and stuff like that, and I would love to do that. Like, there's a roving steward job between Orkney and Shetland. There's jobs, I loved working with the MCU team out the West Coast way. I'm going to try and get myself into a wee shadowing at Doon and all this kind of stuff. So there's so many jobs in Historic Environment Scotland. Like, it's really, however you make it, like, stay in. Once you're in, like get yourself in there.
Definitely.
It's really good.
And I think as well, what's nice is like, obviously, I think people who are coming from places like where you've come from, like there is that more, that almost like place and space sort of thing of being like, right, I'm being more happy to travel for opportunities.
Yeah.
So then that's put you in a good stead, because I don't know, we're like, when I worked in Fife, there's people who work in Fife who are like, oh, it's 20 minutes away, and oh, I'm not going there, it's 20 minutes away. And I now work in the borders, and people are like, oh, it's only 2 hours, it's fine. So it's that difference of like mindset, and then I think that's something you've got of being able to go, well, there's opportunities in Orkney, there's opportunities here, there and everywhere, so putting yourself forward for the best opportunity regardless of where it is.
Absolutely. I've been looking at stuff, there's a craft fellowship and stuff that's for stained glass, like that would be phenomenal. I would really love doing that as well. There's so many things that you can do if you're willing to like
put yourself out there.
But even that, you might be the only person that we will speak to in the next 10 years that mention a job of working with stained glass. And that's really important. We're talking about the lack of knowledge of roles and jobs for young people. And commonly, you know, I've done this job for 8 years, and I probably could rhyme off 15 jobs that covers 95% of the people I speak to. So it's quite encouraging to see somebody like yourself who is like just kind of really understands who you are, but also what you like, and then looking at roles that fit you. It's like quite a cool thing to see, to be honest, from us. So it's enjoyable. But
and I think that's something as well that comes from like, I do feel that like I came into my apprenticeship, I was 24 when I started my apprenticeship, so I was like, right, I'm going to do the best I can in this, and I'm going to make the best impression, and that's how I'm now doing this, because like I'll do all the extra things. But I do think that like coming into these things and having that can make you just more open to all these different opportunities, and then seeing and knowing who you are, and knowing what is open to you. And I think obviously you can have that coming from school, but it's a bit rarer to know exactly where you want to be coming from school. And I think people think they should know, but
no.
Gotta give yourself a bit of time.
I think I've always come to the sort of, my path is always going to be the next right thing for me. And it doesn't need to be what's right in 20 years. It's right for what's now. And I'm not going to regret those steps because I enjoyed college. I really enjoyed looking at history and politics and sociology. I'll never do politics again, but I enjoyed that. That was fun. But the next right thing, you can look back on it and be quite happy with what you've done, whether or not you would make the same decision you would today.
So that's definitely something I would say when I speak to people. Is it's about, you know, what's the right first next step, not this, you know, the 25-year-old version of you. You know, don't looking back and going, oh, I regret that. Well, try and get this decision right first, and what comes from it hopefully is positive things. But you mentioned school there, and obviously for us, or this time of year, very soon is going to be the results for a lot of people leaving school. What was that like for you, and kind of results day, like just out of curiosity? Were you dreading it? You know, what was it like?
I was dreading it. I was waiting by my door, waiting for the postie.
They're always really late on results day, but they've got so much extra posts.
I know, I feel bad for them.
I'm not like being like, oh my goodness, Royal Mail, like be faster. But also like, it's stressful.
It's a stressful day for everyone. I was really disappointed. I'll be very matter of fact about it. I was disappointed in my results. I knew that they weren't a reflection about how smart I was or how I was getting on in the classes. My teachers recognised that as well, which was that was good, because if they had been like, well, you know,
of course,
kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But I was disappointed, and you know, I stayed on to 6th year. I did my advanced hires. I did well in my English advanced hire, and that was pretty much it. I wasn't excelling in my exams at all, and it was such a hit. It was like of confidence and all this kind of stuff. You know, all of my friends were getting ready to go off to university, and I was like, I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not ready to leave home. First of all, I'm not. I don't think I'll be able to do university, and I don't want to do something, set myself up, and then, you know, fall back on it again, and then you know. And that's why college was like absolutely the right decision for me. But yeah, no, results day was not fun for me. But
I think it's so like that for so many people. And I think when you look at things like social media around about results day and things, people are sharing when they've got good news, haven't they? So you open up your news feed and everybody's saying, oh, I got this, I did this, I did that. And you're like, oh, I'm the only one who's done badly. But actually, lots of people haven't done exactly what they wanted to do or got what they wanted to get. And it can feel really overwhelming because nobody's sitting posting a picture going, yay, I failed. You know. Exactly. So I think it's very much, it can feel like you're really alone, but you're not alone. And I think that's something we've got the results helpline. So like if people get the results, they can phone up and they can speak to a careers advisor. And the main thing we're saying to people when they phone up is, it's okay. Yeah. It's going to be okay. We can work this out. Yeah. So, but I think sometimes it's giving yourself a minute to feel the feelings of this is rubbish, and then move on from it. And
I mean, you're an example of that, though, because you know, so you'd have left school nearly 5-6 years ago. sorry to tell everybody that, but what you've done in such a short period of time now, that's your school again, right? So that's your whole 6 years of school again, but your journey has been probably not also very good educational, obviously, because you've got your degree now, but also your journey around who you are and what you want is also fit in there somewhere. So like, you know, it's amazing if you could take this person and put that person in first year again and start again. It's amazing how much you would just like not maybe put yourselves under the pressures that in that moment that's your whole life. And, oh my God, if results don't go to plan.
But oh my goodness, it's so hard to hear that when you're like 16. You're like, oh no, but it's only ever happening to me, but it's really not. Promise, it's not just happening to you. It's tough, and it is tough.
And I think as well, a lot of people when they're getting their results, they're so, it's almost that thing of like they're worried about it for themselves, but they're also got that, oh no, what are my parent carers going to say? What are my friends going to say? What's everyone, you know, uncles, aunties, like everybody's asking, what have you got your results yet? And then it's that horrible feeling of like, oh, I have to share this. But actually, like quite often, like especially when people have done their exams and they're waiting on results and they'll say, oh, I'm really worried about it. I'll often say, did you try your best? And they go, yeah. And I'm going, well, that's all you could do.
Amazing. Yeah.
There's nothing else you could do. So, and then sometimes they'll think, oh, maybe not. And you'll go, well, you'll learn from it. So I think there's never, you know, it's never that's it.
Definitely not.
And what about then? So obviously we've talked a lot about your career, which is good, but, you know, and quite clearly you've had, you know, a plan of some fashion around where you want to go and what you want to do. Is there anything away from work also that you're doing that's keeping you, I guess, maybe in the same industry or the same ideas, or any kind of projects that you've got that are keeping you busy away from your kind of work?
Well, not so much from work. I've gotten really into, now that I'm just that little bit older, not by much.
No.
A little bit older, thank you.
Definitely nowhere near us.
I make time for my hobbies now. Like, you know, when you're like younger and you're like, oh gosh, no, I can't be doing that. I like sitting and painting. That's usually what I'll try and do. Like on my evenings or something like that, I'll paint. I've got little film projects and stuff that I'm trying to weave together to make a stained glass thing out of film and stuff like that. So like I like creative stuff. I think it's such a good way to decompress because I love my job. There are hard days. Like it's a busy day. Yesterday was a hard day. It was very busy. And you know, everybody's trying to support each other. Sometimes you just need to go and do something that you just enjoy. I don't have any sort of pressing big projects outside of work. It's just what I enjoy doing and taking a bit of time to decompress because it's a really fast, sort of fast-paced environment. But no.
Especially when you're dealing with like the general public, you have no idea what they're going to do or what they're going to say. And then you were saying about being involved with events and things like that. So when you bring events together, it then gets even busier than a normal general day at Stirling Castle. Has there been any, like, what's been your best event to be involved with?
So I was helping out with the Stirling 900 event. So the idea was we'll get 900 performers onto the Esplanade, which that's the car park. 900 performers on the Esplanade. People still coming in and out of the castle.
Oh my goodness.
People crossing roads, buses. Oh my goodness. What a day that was. But it was really fantastic. And at the end of the day, absolutely exhausted. But I was there helping people. And it was really satisfying at the end of it, where I was like, you know,
did that.
Yeah, I did that. That was me. I was helping. Like it was such a small part. The events team is like they're incredible. The manager, Carla, she's phenomenal. Like, she's amazing.
I think that makes such a difference when you've got someone to work with that you can be like, oh, they're so good at their job, and then you can just like steal little bits of how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll always go out my way to do the events. I think it's really fun. You know, like it's something really different, and you get to be around the castle at night and stuff. I helped out with the Halloween tours as well, where I was sound effects. So I was stomping around at 9 o'clock at night. I was stomping around. It was just, you know, you have a bit of fun as well. Like, it is really fun.
I just think, like, that's not on any job description, is it? Like, nobody's saying, like, and you will have to stomp around at 9 o'clock at night.
My official job title for that night was Footsteps of Doom. So I'm putting that on my CV.
Yes.
That's a good story, though, isn't it? Like, you've put an expert of Footsteps of Doom. How does that relate to this job now?
I haunted Stirling Castle. There you go.
Yeah. It's so good, but it's really good as well, I think, to hear from people where when they think they're going in for a particular job and what that might look like, that ultimately there is opportunities like this where, you know, you might be doing totally different things on a daily basis, and it isn't maybe as structured as I'm doing the same thing every day. I know obviously when you complete your apprenticeship, have you got a particular job that you feel you'd want to take the lead on more away from your time at...
Like, still on site at Stirling Castle?
Or anywhere else? Is there a particular, from all your experiences, obviously it's still quite early, you've still got a year left, but is there any particular role that you feel like, you know, that's the one that potentially long term I'd like to do?
No, I really don't. And that's honestly kind of exciting for me. I don't have one role at the castle, for example, that I particularly want to go for. I'm liking the look of the craft fellowship for the stained glass. That would be really phenomenal. I like the idea of the roving steward. I like all sorts of different things, and there's something so fun about that. Like, you know, however many years ago when I was in high school, that would have been really stressful for me, but now it's just such an exciting challenge where I'm like, that's actually really exciting, that I don't know what I'm going to do after I leave, but definitely stay within HES would be
I think what's
the
really
ideal.
nice about that is that at the start you were saying about, like, when you were at school, it was like you were very much what is the next step, and now having that almost you're not sitting here with the next step, and instead of that being scary, it's exciting because it means there's lots of different things that you could do rather than there's nothing.
There's not one path. That's been something I really have to thank my parents for that, because they've always been like that. There's not one set path for anybody. And you know, it's what you're saying earlier, like, you can't just follow your friends just because that's what they're doing. You have to carve it out for yourself. You're going to make mistakes, you know. I took some odd jobs and stuff like that, you know, and for what they were, I enjoyed them. But you know, this is fantastic, and I'm glad to where I've gotten. And on any of those mistakes or like missteps, I'll say, so worth it for having this now. Not even the job now, it's the confidence to not know what I'm going to do next, and it's actually really fun.
No, I love that. I think that's such a good place to be, and to feel like so many people don't have that feeling of confidence, and there's loads of opportunities for me, and I think that's really good. And it shows as well that who you work for is a really good place to work for as well, knowing that you having an awareness of all these different roles, because there's people who work for different organisations or companies who have no idea about what the other jobs are in it, so to actually have that awareness, that's amazing.
Totally. Like, you can do stonemason apprenticeship, which is really good. One of my friends, the gardener at Stirling Castle, and she's an apprentice gardener, and like, there's all sorts of things. It's not just stonemasons, or it's not just working in an office. You can make it how there's a little bit of everything. It's really fun.
I love it.
I mean, it's clearly, obviously it's been brilliant talking to you, because you clearly love your job, which is like, after an hour speaking, I don't think you could hide that much more. Like, so like, it's good to see, and it's great obviously if anybody is listening who is interested in falling into that sector that probably feels like a niche sector somehow, but actually in Scotland particularly it's quite large. I think people don't realise the extent and how far it is growing in Scotland, or how big it is.
It is growing as well. It is.
And I think as well, it's even showing, like, people listening, like, even if they're not interested in working in anything historic, even just hearing somebody be so passionate about what they do might give that little bit of inspiration of, I want to do something that I really enjoy. And I think that's really important, because you know, you can't like every day, but you should like most days.
Definitely.
But honestly, thank you so much. It's been so interesting. I've really enjoyed that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.